7 days a week of drafts right now going on Splash Play, and it's a big one today. Today's the newsiest training camp day we have had so far. A lot to catch up from this weekend. Despite doing drafts every day, we got to do the news segment up top here, and I have a lot to cover. And I'm picking the 12 hole, so today is a day with Puka-Nacua being banged up. He's on the thumbnail. We might be live for the never before achieved by me and BBM Puka-Nacua Marvin Harrison combo. Let's see if we get it. Let's talk about the news, and let's start off with Tyreek Hill. New deal for him, gives him $105 million guaranteed total on his existing deal, which is technically the most ever in 4 years for a wide receiver. I guess it might be any player, like specifically a wide receiver. We did not add any new years, said his agent Drew Rosenhaus, just adding additional guaranteed money. It's the most guaranteed money added to a contract without adding new years in NFL history. So Tyreek keeps the same deal relatively, gets more money for himself. He was playing through the fact he wanted a new contract basically since last year. But it's one thing to note there, Tyreek got paid, so any concerns about a holdout, if it was there, now would be gone. Puka-Nacua left practice early with a knee injury, said to be not serious, but he is week to week. I would say he shouldn't fall on ADP. We know at this point how markets overreact to any bit of injury news. He's going to fall a little bit, so we'll see if he falls in this room today. Shouts to the chat as well. We got some GMs. Spags should try to sneak into pizza room. No, I want soft rooms. I'm in my home stretch of drafts. I never want to be in a sharp room if I can avoid it. And hey, I have the 12 spot. Yeah, what a surprise. Never get that one. And shouts to Chunk here saying that Splash for the best sub in the biz. I appreciate that. Trying to do the best I can. I think for $4.99, I provide an inordinate amount of value. Might make a price raise next year. For now, though, take advantage of it while you can because I want to make sure I show you guys the value of what Splash Play is. Tyler Johnson, Jordan Whittington, Xavier Smith, Tutu Atwell are the guys who filled it when Puka went out. Believe it was in that order, according to the Athletics. So Whittington has more been the wide receiver 3 spot. Might have to learn a different bit of route tree for himself for Puka-Nacua. That said, again, don't worry about Puka-Nacua that much. If Puka were to go out, though, I would watch Whittington as a guy who's played well and has similar traits. Can run the ball a little bit, good in short spaces. Something to watch out for. Jaden Reed ran only 60% of routes on Green Bay's family night compared to 80% for Romeo Doubs, 75% for Watson. With Reed going first off the board there, it's always felt like a little bit of a misprice. That's something that I would say might be a misprice. John D with a chat here. I'm on the clock for Dynasty 1 QB rookie draft. Pick 301, Vidal, Ray Davis, or JJ McCarthy. If you need a QB, I would go McCarthy. If you don't, I'd go Ray Davis. Ray Davis, though, for Dynasty, he's more of an immediate future pick, but he's young enough. He's 24, 25. So he'll be good for a few years. There we go. Shout out Tim. Left Peach Stream. Watch me. I appreciate that. Tim also picked up a free drafters ticket over the weekend. So I'm sure that doesn't hurt. Greasing the old palm. All right, let's see what JBE does here. We are live. We did it. We fucking did it. It only took a knee injury. Puka-Nacua, Marvin Harrison. Oh, my God. I'm too busy in the news world. We fucking first share. We got one share. We only had to cripple a player at least temporarily. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate. Woo! There's a party going on with Puka and MHJ on Spags' BBM team. Now we got to avoid fucking up the rest of the team. But we did it once, a share that everybody's gotten before. Celebration. Woo, woo. Celebrate good times. Come on. All right. We fucking did it. Finally. Let's go. Holy shit. Celebrate. Yes. I poorly sang the classic celebration song. How else can you celebrate it? We did it. A Puka Marvin Harrison start. Let's injure more guys I want. And just slight injuries, though. Little injuries. Jalen Hurts at 17. Jesus. All right. Well, this is the room we want. We got this guy going RB Piggy. This guy taking Jalen Hurts at 17. Puka and Marvin Harrison. What a start here. All right. The rest of the news. Fucking so in the news zone. Oh, fuck. I forgot to tweet it out, too. Man, I got Puka I got Puka at MHJ when I did a Puka thumbnail. This is everything I've ever wanted in content. What a moment. This is a real moment, guys. This is not me fucking hamming it up. Holy shit. What a day. What a day. All right. Backers, though. Dontavian Wicks only saw 6 snaps with Jordan Love. This is what I've been saying for fucking months, and the rest of the industry was up their own ass about Dontavian Wicks. He is contingent value for the top 3 receivers of Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, and Christian Watson. He can get there. He's going to rotate in, maybe catch the touchdown sometimes. But Dontavian Wicks, only 6 snaps with Love. They're going to end up being like a 15 to 20% share for him. Not great, so Wicks needs to come down. Let's see if he does, but he needs to. And A.J. Dillon was ahead of Marshawn Lloyd. It's not all good news for me. Lloyd made some big plays, though. A.J. Dillon had a puff piece in The Athletic as well. Talking about him being in better shape, also talking about him now being the vet presence there. That's helping Josh Jacobs get up to speed, pointing out when Marshawn Lloyd does something great, pointing out when Marshawn Lloyd does something wrong. To me, A.J. Dillon, the situation reminds me kind of the Zach Ertz one with the Commanders. Think Ben Sinnot's very talented. Think Zach Ertz is old and dusty, and they talk about him being more of a presence as a veteran there. I think these guys, the younger guys with juice, beat out the older guy. But obviously, start of the year, week 1 brain, as Eric Beimfohr and Pat Crane have deemed it, week 1 brain is going to take the better of you. And if you want to take A.J. Dillon, that's week 1 brain. No stalker in the draft either. We're crushing it. We're crushing it overall. 0.75. Oh, the points went up here on Underdog? I didn't know. Diego, my points per site source. Lad McConkey dealing with a knee/ankle injury of unclear severity. Obviously, with Herbert being out, it's not a great scene for Lad starting the year hot, hitting the ground running. Still think he's going to come down in ADP. I would scoop the dip if he's going in the 80s. If he's going in that Cortland Sutton range, even better. But Lad McConkey, I think, is fine there. If he goes cheaper, we're going to do it. No, trust me, I didn't. He's still floating around. He was in 28% of my drafts last week, so he's not far off his clip from last year. Ramondre Stevenson was quote-unquote the best skill position player at camp. Antonio Gibson also looking like a viable third down back. Apparently has had a third down back juice. The Patriots beat writers feel like that there hasn't been there in a few years. Obviously, they've had guys like Deion Lewis in the past. They had hoped Ty Montgomery would be that. He wasn't. So it does seem like there's something there for Gibson to have a role, but Stevenson being the best guy overall, I would say not a surprise, even a little bit. We got the Xavier Leggett left practice early with a foot injury. MRI showed no break in his foot. He's day-to-day. Athletic says he's had no head-turning plays in camp. So for Xavier Leggett, again, with Mingo looking good, Leggett might start the year slow. I don't think the bet changes that much. He's still got the look to me of a young A.J. Brown in terms of the analytics profile, what he can do. Much more fun accent, I think, than A.J. Brown as well. That said, for Leggett, I think he needs to come down a little bit in ADP. 150s would feel right, maybe 160s. But we will see how it goes. And certainly, again, Mingo draftable in most formats. We got a couple picks coming up for mine. We'll keep going through news here because there's a full page here in the Google Doc people get here when they are a paying member. Jermaine Burton's back in practice. Downside for him is he's now working with the second team. Obviously, he was out. When you come back from an injury, you might lose your spot. But all the positives seen for Yoshevich has had a direct negative impact on Jermaine Burton. So not great for Burton right now. He's come down in ADP. I don't even know if I'd buy the dip. Shout out to our guy Sammy, loving the content. Let's go. I appreciate it. And Daniel Stern in here, who I believe is not the famous actor, but he is in the room. Happy to see you. Good luck to you, my friend. All right, going around the turn here. We got our PUKA-MHJ start. We're celebrating good times. ADP-wise, Tank Dell looks like the pick. Josh Allen, not a bad pick. This is a tough turn for me. I think Tank's got to be one of the choices no matter what. I think that seems pretty obvious. My cozy Tank and Zay Flowers not here for this one, so that's a little bit tough. But Tank, one of the picks. Laporta, what's up? What's up? Tyler, you missed Puka and MHJ for the first time on stream. Welcome aboard to a brave new world where we injure players to finally get a share of them. We get a dip on Sam Laporta. Josh Allen could be fun, though do think we want to go Kyler's way. Going up for McBride. Going up for McBride. Do I want to do that here? I'm going to go get Pacheco. It's not 0 RB Friday. Pacheco, I do think, is coming up. His ADP's already started to rise a little bit. So we're going to go with a hero RB of Pacheco, a guy I've talked about in the news segment, getting some positive steam for himself with no Jerick McKinnon in the mix. Andy Reid expects Pacheco to fill in and take that workload. So Pacheco, with the fact as well that he goes pretty highly in redraft leagues, I think this last month could see Pacheco come up safely into the third round. So I'm going to take my share here at pick 37 at the turn. Shout out to Sammy at the super chat. I appreciate that very much here. Help me get your red badge. All right, there we go. I think you would have gotten it without me, but you might have lost slightly more money along the way. Check the chats. Oh, there we go. You know how important it is for me, Tyler. You know. You want me to get McBride? I don't want to go up and get McBride. People have gotten this stack for cheaper with McBride. I also just want to get a share of Pacheco. Maybe McBride falls back to 60, right? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be a sign that my hard work is paying off here? Again, this is day 8 in a row of drafts. We're going to end up going right now because it looks like I'll be doing another Sunday. Sorry to our guy Tyler. Looks like I'll be doing another Sunday this weekend. So we're going to have another 7 days in a row of drafts here. It looks like we're going to be going like, I don't know what that would be, 22 days in a row of drafts here. So my commitment to drafting will be on camera more than ever here. New drafts every day, it looks like, for the next few weeks. Monday to Sunday at 11 a.m. Every day at 11 a.m., I guess I could say, for the next few weeks. We got Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving said to be the Bucks RB2. The bags are shining right now. Sean Tucker competing for RB3 with the still injured Chase Edmonds. Tucker's had a decent camp. We know what he was last year. Wasn't in on him. Bucky Irving, though, ton of juice. Positive reviews again. Positive plays going on at camp. And now we get the RB2 signal. Love to see that. Broncos, is his exact quote, believe that Audric Estime could be a big part of the offense this season and beyond. In the same article, they talk about Javonte also getting plaudits for being so in shape, looking as good as ever. This is a case in Denver where I do think there's positive steam for Javonte. There's also positive steam for Estime. I have a lot of the cheaper guy. I will now be getting Williams, I guess, Javonte at his price tag just to kind of level it out a little bit. But I think one of these guys is going to have a decent year. Some risk they eat off each other's plate, obviously. But the hope is that maybe they don't. Who knows? Maybe they don't. The dream of Trey McBride going back to 60 will not happen. ATX Bearcat, who I believe is a paying member, he gets McBride, so he's allowed to do it. Disgruntled by me, but he's allowed to do it. All right. What else do we got? Okay, so the Justin Fields stuff. So this is an interesting one. So the ESPN reporter Dan Graziano speculated Justin Fields may beat out Russell Wilson, which was in stark contrast from the Athletics' earlier beat reports. The Athletic then replied back, exact quote again, based on the way Coach Mike Tomlin gave Wilson the pole position title and the way that Wilson doesn't seem to feel the need to hurry back, makes it unlikely for now that Fields can supplant the veteran atop the depth chart. So that's what I've been following for the most part. The Athletic guys have said Russell Wilson is locked in the starter. He's earned the job through just how he's comported himself, what the team wanted to do, all that. That said, this report now from the Athletic doesn't jive with what I know of they've reported before, other people have reported before, which is that Russ wants to go and Tomlin is saying, let's play it cautiously, let's dial it back. So those are two different things. Like Russ being able to go and choosing not to go is different than Russ being able to go and Mike Tomlin saying, no, don't go yet. And I think we're getting the latter. So still don't think it's wise to take Justin Fields right now. Like if you're willing to absorb the zero and people are, you can, but it's still a zero and it's a zero at a time frame where like there's a lot of movements going around and that pick could go to something that ends up winning you the league at RB, at wide receiver, at tight end. So that's how I still feel about it. That said, I think there is enough signal for Fields moving at this point. I still have the priors where Russ, again, earned that job, was being treated like the starter, was going to do appearances as the Steelers starter, basically, at a Pirates game and a Penguins game. And then there's all the signal that they were giving to the beat reporters, The Athletic. I think it's an odd one. It's an odd one that's not being reported out as fully as it should be, really. But going off of what I've seen so far, I think that Fields is getting this time right now because they happen to have this opportunity to see what he can do. They like what they're seeing. They're holding Russ out because they like what they're seeing. And at a certain point, if he has like a dog shit practice, I would bet that Russ is back in that next day. But for right now, it's a little bit weird. You think it's just Russ ego management? I just don't think so. There's no point. He's not getting paid money by them, really. Like they don't have to manage his ego. They could just cut him. They could just do whatever they wanted with him. So I don't know, but that's how I read it. Obviously, you guys can read it how you want to. Athletic beat reporter says Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jalen Hyatt are ahead of Slayton on the depth chart. He also said it's Tyrone Tracy and Eric Gray competing for RB2. Tracy may be ahead. It all seems like he's in some dual RB sets of Singletary based on a different article. Another article said the competition is quote unquote wide open for RB2. Anything more than that. So Tracy's getting drafted a little bit more regularly, I believe, in the 190s. I still have some concerns there, but I think you could do it in the 190s. If he comes back up to 170 or whatever, I just don't think that's the move for Tyrone Tracy. Theo Johnson, I think we've known for about a week or two. Theo Johnson ahead of Bellinger for tight end 1, not a surprise. Bellinger's in the mix, but he's not tight end 1. Troy Franklin has not been the 4th best wide receiver in camp, but will be on the roster, was an exact quote from The Athletic. Tim Patrick, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Brandon Johnson, Devon Vele, all likely competing for one spot. All of them are big guys, and Sean Payton's talked about wanting to have one big guy on the roster, so that's the assumption right now. We got picks coming up here. We'll get back to more news. Calvin Ridley here. Don't mind that. Joe Mixon here if we wanted to build that RB more. Ridley, a little bit of an ADP discount. Man, I feel like ATX Bearcat is going to take Kyler Murray on this build, huh? Because Murray's right in the range for his picks. I don't love that. All right, one of the picks for me is going to be Ridley. Just think he should be theoretically coming up a little bit with Hopkins being hurt. For some reason, he's getting none of the usual market overreaction. Elite tight end with George Kittle, meh. Godwin is wide receiver 5, Mixon to get more of the Houston bet. Don't mind it. We'll take a share of Godwin here, I guess. I'm low on everybody. I'm only low on him in this range. Everybody else, I'm pretty even on. I'm with the field on Worthy, with the field on Odunze, above the field on Watson, above the field a little bit on Deontay. I'll take a share of Chris Godwin here. Just scooping up the guys who were good in fantasy 3 years ago kind of approach. Team so far is 0-1-5-0. Fortunately, I think we're going to get sniped on Kyler in this one. But we got Isaiah Pacheco, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison. Okay. All right, we'll see what ATX Bearcat does. Well, I would like to get Kyler if he takes some. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me, ATX Bearcat. Play the way you got to. We got Pacheco, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin here as a wide receiver start. A little bit unique for me. 2 guys I would say here. Godwin in particular, I would like more in a DraftKings. But we got our PUKA-MHJ start, so I'm never going to be mad at it. And that's basically how I'm going to feel about it right now. We'll see what these guys do around the turn and what we get back. Rachaad White at 65. I feel like he should be paying a little bit of an ADP discount. I guess I'm going 65. Maybe that is baked into that. But Bucky Irving again. Bucky Irving coming up means Rachaad White has to come down. It is what the push-pull of the market should be. Ben Sinnott, again, prior bags. Ben Sinnott impressing with blocking in the run game and making contested catches, according to Dan Quinn. That's what we want to see. Him blocking well is going to get him on the field. Him making good plays in contested spaces. A good thing that they're pointing out, given all the FUD we've seen out there about Ben Sinnott fullback. Feels like we're getting less Ben Sinnott fullback talk lately. But I think overall, that's something that we believed this entire time. He's going to be on the field. Zach Ertz is ahead of him right now. Again, it's not about week 1. It's about week 17. And Sinnott, to me, in a situation where we do have rave reviews for Jaden Daniels, who will be playing next week as well against the Jets in the preseason. Everything's lining up well for Washington. We just need a good showing against the Jets. I think maybe we finally see some ADP steam for these guys. That really matters. Ja'Tavion Sanders looking good with more work. Actually caught a touchdown as Ian Thomas and Tommy Tremble are banged up. Tommy Tremble should be back soon. Ian Thomas is going to be out for weeks. So for Ja'Tavion Sanders, backed off those bags for a while. He wasn't impressing much in camp. Now he's getting work with the first team, seemingly figuring some stuff along the way. So if you want an 18th round pick, we talked about Theo Johnson, Ja'Tavion Sanders. I think these are your late bailout guys, especially if you are like dead in the water at QB. Take Bryce, take Ja'Tavion, take Daniel Jones, take Theo. Especially Daniel Jones, take Daniel Jones the 16th, take Jalen Hyatt, take Theo. There's ways to backdoor that team pretty well. All right. What happened here? Kyler went to the unstacked guy in the 1 hole. There we go. I saw the chat saying that a 3 QB build with other guys would be okay. But yeah, would have liked to get Kyler, given the fact we've been dying for this PUKA-MHJ combo. You want to get the purest uncut version of the combo when you finally get it. But that said, we don't get it here because this guy needed unstacked Kyler. Would have rather, ATX Bearcat, would have rather seen you have it. I'll say that out loud. Motherfuckers. San Fran man. Shocker, the unbadged guy in the 1 hole takes an unstacked QB. When Derrick Henry is in the game, Justice Hill will be, was an exact quote according to The Athletic. Rasheen Ali is the RB3 right now. They expect him to lose that job to Keaton Mitchell whenever he's available to be back, more likely around November or so. That said, Rasheen Ali, pure handcuff. Justice Hill should have been getting drafted probably this entire time. I was taking him in the big board, got spooked off him lately in BBM for the most part. I don't think I have many, if any, Justice Hill in the BBM, which I didn't put my money where my mouth was for that. Yeah, no shares of him. Got a lot of him in the big board, though. So Hill, RB2 there, probably takes some pass down work. Going to be mostly Derrick Henry, though. No surprises on that. Ray McLeod is safely ahead of Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore also making plays. Some drops, though. So Ray McLeod has been locked into that slot job. If you're doing a Washington Atlanta build, he's probably a bring back attack on the 18th round. Still think Rondale could beat him out. But these guys, I think, are basically the same age. Very similar players. Whoever wins, I think, is actually a viable option in the 18th round, given how good we expect Atlanta to be. The Athletic also loosely compared Casey Washington to Puka Nacua, while also being pretty abundantly clear that they don't expect him to be Puka Nacua this year. But they find the plays, the ability to be similar to Puka Nacua coming out of nowhere for Casey Washington for Atlanta as well. Johnny Wilson repping with the first team. Talked about this over the weekend. He's getting red zone looks from Jalen Hurts. Still think his ceiling is like 50 yards in a game and a touchdown, like at best. I would say probably more like 30 and a touchdown. But he's good. He's good at FSU. He thought looked better in a lot of metrics than Keon Coleman, who's acquitting himself very well in camp in the red zone like we thought he would. So Johnny Wilson to me, live if you want in the 18th round, but, a little bit flimsy still. 0150 build here. We've got a bet on Calvin Ridley. We'll take a oppo correlation bet on Evan Ingram. I think that makes sense here for one of the picks. Ingram, honestly, 7-pick discount on him. Could take that. Then Ramondre, again, good camp reports for him. If we wanted to go up and get a QB, we could, but there really isn't one to go up and get. Jonathan Brooks would be okay, but he's obviously going the opposite way. Could do Najee or Jalen for KC Pittsburgh in week 17, I suppose. We are low on KC Pittsburgh options. I'm going to go Jalen Warren here. Need to level out my Warren and Najee. I'm perfectly okay with Ramondre, but I've got enough exposure here at 13%. Maybe he's going to come up a little bit. We had a little bit of a value there, but honestly, Ramondre, Jalen Warren, I would favor Ramondre for sure. I've got Ramondre ranked higher, but I don't think it's that much of a difference. So we've got a 0-2-5-1 build here. Took Isaiah Pacheco, pick 37. Think he's coming up. Jalen Warren, he's a little bit before ADP. Puka-Nakua got him at the discount because he hurt his knee slightly. Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin. So we took our 5 receivers and 61 picks, and we're going away from the position for a little bit. Evan Ingram is our tight end who does correlate with Calvin Ridley for week 17. So we've got some week 17 correlation in a bunch of different spots. So I have to figure out what the stacking partner is because we couldn't get Kyler back, unfortunately, at 84. So that's how the team's looking right now. Feeling good at it. Got Stroud at 81. Congrats. I don't. You took Stroud, please, with a player. You took Stroud with Diggs. Okay. Cool. Congrats. I would have also liked Stroud. I don't really care about you getting Stroud, Nick, but congrats. Van Jefferson, quote unquote, stock up as a wide receiver too. The exact quote from him is he wants to, quote unquote, recapture his 2021 form. Van Jefferson, a guy that has never really been good, but was closer to good. So his stock is up. I guess Roman Wilson being out, really the main thing there. He's playing well enough. Don't think it's going to be enough volume there, but if you want your 2024 equivalent of Mac Hollins in the Pittsburgh offense, maybe that's Van Jefferson. Nothing too exciting here. Dallin Holker, last news item here. We've covered it. Finally got to all the news 23 minutes in. Dallin Holker working with New Orleans first team as Juwan Johnson awaits his return. He's running. He's not out there yet. Dallin Holker getting some work does matter a little bit. He was a guy that was okay in college. Wasn't fantastic or anything, but first team reps for a guy that nobody mentions. Got to point it out when I see it. There we go. Those are your news items, guys. If you appreciate this video here, if you appreciate what I'm trying to do every day, talking about the news, of course, showing my drafts and my gambling here, and having to gracefully reply to people getting values if I care about it, please subscribe down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. Of course, drafts here every day right now at 11 a.m., at least for the next few weeks. On the weekends, I do drafters. Check that out as well. And of course, use promo code SPLASH on Underdog. If you haven't deposited on there, $250 in bonus cash. If you have deposited on Underdog, use promo code SPLASH on drafters. That's full point PPR, 17 weeks, no pods, no playoff pods, a different look than Underdog, which is what you're trying to get, I think, if you are really wanting to win big money. Now, drafters, $15 entry fee, $500K to first place. Along with that fact, you don't have the luck component of competing in pods with people taking QBs and then thinking that you want to see them get great values on a stack partner that you would have liked for yourself. So please play on drafters. Drafters.com, promo code SPLASH on promo code SPLASH, that is, on drafters. And the best ball overlay tool is what I'm using on the screen as well. You can see my exposures. You see the week 16, week 17 matchups. You can also see the DK Sportsbook totals for the teams here. So Jaden Daniels, 45-point total in week 16 against Philadelphia, 46-point total week 17 against Atlanta. 2 fertile matchups for Jaden Daniels. Part of the reasons why, of course, I draft him whenever humanly possible. Lots of guys in here taking unstacked QB as well. You know, that's what happens. Not a lot of badges in the room. But the good news is, you know, the guys who are taking, the guy who took CJ Stroud at least had a stack partner with him. So I'll be happy about that. The guy taking unstacked Kyler, not so happy about that. We'll see what we get with our pick. feel like now that I've been mad at the room has to punish me by going slowly. Now I'm finished with news items. The room has to drag ass. Tony Pollard at 101, Tyji at 103. Those guys flattening out. AD Mitchell at 104. Not the time to do that. AD Mitchell getting some of the least positive camp signal out there, probably falling into the 130s, maybe 140s. Nothing surprising there. Chase Brown, one of our best CLV bets. He's up to 106. He can get into the 90s. All right, now it's like we're fucking with me here. Now I think we have to go over the top with Jaden. So we lost out on Kyler. We have to now beat Kyler teams in this PUKA-MHJ combo. All right. Jaden Daniels here. Another share. Can't not do it. Zach Moss, pretty decent discount on him, but we're going to try to do something interesting, I think, today with Washington. So we are going to go with Brian Robinson here. And Zach Moss going behind Chase Brown. Interesting to see. Yep, and B-Rob. Jaden and B-Rob are the picks here. Jaden's going to be at 108, given the fact that really, if he plays well against the Jets, he's going to come up. He's got to come up like 20 picks, I think, finally. He is the one guy I've said before. The one guy who's immune to camp buzz is the one team who's immune to camp buzz are the Washington Commanders. They're having one of the best camps. And I know, again, I'm partial to it. I'm searching out more Commanders news than other teams because of how heavy my bags are. But like every camp report is like, wow, Jaden Reed's crushing it. Oh my God, he threw another 40-yard completion to Terry McLaurin. Wow, a 35-yarder to Dotson. Oh shit, another passing game touchdown for Brian Robinson. Zach Ertz is looking rejuvenated. Like everything has been good from Commanders camp. And granted, it's been so bad for the Commanders that maybe it's on a sliding scale that's being graded a little bit there. But like this guy has had the best fucking camp reports. So it's unbelievable. Yes, thank you for our guy Louis here. We do have you finally have Puka and MHJ. Unfortunately, nothing else with it in this build, but we're okay. But the team so far is a 1-3-5-1. Got our guy Jaden Daniels here. Isaiah Pacheco, hero RB build. We got Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson Jr. Value on Robinson at a time. Again, somebody reached for AD Mitchell by 20 picks when he's coming down another 10 picks. Instead, we got a discount on one of the, again, positive camp steam guys at RB. We got Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, and Chris Godwin. And we have Evan Ingram at tight end. So got Tennessee Jacksonville stuff. No Trevor Lawrence coming back. He would have been an interesting pick if we got him at 130. No worries. Unfortunately, Jaden Reed's not on the Commanders, no. Did I say Jaden Reed, Jaden Daniels? Whatever. It's possible I misspeak sometimes. Can we let me live when I'm putting out 10,000 words a day? But fair enough. I worried about the Washington O-line. Some saying it's worse than the league. No. I'm not. O-line, again, people worrying about O-line so much in August is really stupid. And I'm not saying that for Vapeware, like not calling you stupid. But in general, it's like one of the things you can't control overall sometimes can lead to QBs, especially somebody like Jaden, scrambling more run plays. And again, it's maybe inhibits your ability to get deep shots if you have a statue QB, especially. Daniel Jones wasn't mobile last year, fell apart. Theoretically was mobile last year, fell apart anyway. So I guess if you want to really critique me on that take, you can. But like O-line is not that deep. O-line can be okay. Different units come together. If somebody's spending a lot of money on O-line, you give them a boost, but it's all baked into everything else. You don't need to double count things. A lot of double counting things. People like are desperate to double count factors. And it's like the entire team composition is built to the ADP. The win total is built in. The rushing, all the stuff is built in. Skipping Tennessee Jacksonville stuff, I have been as well. The cheap price tags on both sides of that have made it one of my higher exposed Week 17 correlations. One of the things that you can see with the Best Ball Overlay tool as well, bestballoverlay.com, a promo code SPLASH on there. You can see your Week 17 stacks, your Week 17 mini stacks. Because of that, I'm able to tell a little bit more when I'm doing too much of or doing a lot of deliberately, like in the case of Washington, Atlanta. I've been doing a lot of Tennessee Jacksonville because of Levis being there late. I like Kirk a lot at his spot, especially in part of a wide receiver run. Ingram, I'm okay with as a tight end. Tank Bigsby is a late pick. Brian Thomas, I like. Really, the only guy I don't like that much is Gabe Davis. And even he's had a good enough camp. So when you get that come together, like these teams start to make sense. But it is a little bit of a bias point, though, at a certain point in your drafts where I've got 90 drafts done in BBM or about to be. I don't want to always be doing Tennessee Jacksonville just because it's cheap and like the players align in my pocket. So you got to balance yourself a little bit. Josh Downs coming up. I believe in my ranks this week, I moved Josh Downs ahead of AD Mitchell. I've got Josh Downs at 126. Mitchell, I've got at 137. I bumped Mitchell down pretty aggressively this week. I think he's going to get a fall coming for people overreacting a little bit to Alec Pierce being the wide receiver 3. Bet on AD Mitchell is the same, but I don't think you want to pay the same price tag for him. So that's how I feel about AD Mitchell. I think Downs has been underrepresented. Some concern for Downs overall that he's competing basically the same route tree as Michael Pittman. But so many positive camp reviews for him. I think he's a pretty solid pick. Good news, Garrett. There's a news segment up top. I cover this at length. But he should be fine. Not that serious, but he's going to be week to week. We have a 1-3-5-1 here. Well, Marshawn Lloyd, a pick that I've made plenty of and have no issue continuing to make. Dotson would correlate as one of the picks. I think no matter what, Dotson's going to be one of the picks. So I'm going to take him here. For the second pick, Schultz would increase our Houston bet. I do like Schultz, though he's falling in rooms a little bit. Lloyd, I still love at any price tag, 130 or above. We run the risk getting bled out at RB a little bit here. But tight end could be pretty good if I take Schultz. This is tough. I'm going to pass Marshawn Lloyd here. Still like Schultz a lot in this spot. Could have also gone Freiermuth for the week 17 correlation with KC. But I will instead go with the week 16 correlation with Houston because, frankly, just like Houston a lot more as a team bet. So we add on Dalton Schultz and we add on Jahan Dotson here. Team so far, 1-3-6-2. We got Jaden Daniels at QB. Surprise fall to 108. I just don't think that's smart. He should really never go past 100 at this point, yet he did here. Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson Jr., Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Jahan Dotson. Tight end, I would say pretty much done with Evan Ingram and Dalton Schultz. So we're going to make it up a little bit more at RB. Obviously, some late RB picks we still like. Need to get our second QB in, but we have a lot of options there late. We got Baker as an option. We've got Stafford as an option. We've got Levis as an option. And we could take multiples of them, honestly. Could be a 3 QB build out of luxury here, depending on how we hit RB coming up. We'll see what we do. Could not disagree more, but more power to you. More theoretical volume for Freiermuth, but Schultz will have a lot more touchdown equity in an offense that should regularly putting up 30 points a game. So they're going to average that, but like we're talking about potentially one of the most prolific passing offenses that might have ever existed in the NFL. I don't want to overhype Houston too much, but I've said before, I think CJ Stroud's in the hunt to be MVP this year. You have so many weapons there, and a tight end that's just going to be out there running routes, just going to be open from the fact that you got to cover Tank, you got to cover Diggs, you got to cover Nico. There's 3 big options there, and you have to cover Mixon now too, who can get something done in the flat in the pass game. It's going to be very easy for Dalton Schultz to have the potential for 2 touchdown games, even if his targets come down to 4 to 6 a game. I would take Schultz over Freiermuth 8 out of 10 times. I really greatly believe in Schultz more. Well, Russ started his tight ends. Russ loves to start his tight ends. I mean, he enjoys that greatly. He did that last year. I mean, granted, that room was pretty shit, but he does historically like throwing the tight ends a decent amount. It's just usually chopped up workloads. And, for what it's to his credit, to Ant's credit as well, like Freiermuth has gotten signal that he's basically the de facto wide receiver 2, and the tight end's going to be used a lot. It's an Arthur Smith offense. That said, there's still going to be 12 personnel, 13 personnel. There are going to be other tight ends out there that a QB can throw a ball to, as we saw last year where we had Kyle Pitts. Again, don't fully erase your brain. Don't Men in Black your brain about what happened in Atlanta last year. We had a wide receiver 1 in Drake London who wasn't fed well. We had a tight end in Kyle Pitts who was fed better last year, but then had a lot of work going to his backup tight end or his co-tight end, Jonnu Smith. For Pittsburgh, I think you'll see a good amount of work going Freiermuth's way, and then not really enough to really matter. Rather have more touchdowns. Stroud finds the open guy. That is the whole bet. That's the whole bet. But yeah, to me, I'd rather have, if you're talking shares of Houston versus Pittsburgh in general, I'd rather take that 8 out of 10. Adding a tight end that Dalton Schultz is he's like a branch in the wind. He just goes with whatever the offense is doing. When he was in Dallas, he just did exactly whatever the offense gave him. He's in Houston last year. It's exactly what the offense gave him. And Houston this year, he's going to take exactly what's given him. He's not going to earn targets as well, but he's going to earn, I think, a lot of high-value targets, especially in the red zone. I would be bullish on Pickens at his ADP if Pickens is a starter or Fields is a starter. Not great at reading defenses, and Peppers his primary read with targets. I don't know. Trying to think of like just anything that I could cling to. Okay. Stafford goes. Does this guy have Cup? Please tell me this guy has Cup. Stafford goes unstacked to a guy without Cooper Cup. Oh, idiot season doing great things for me here. Jalen Wright on the board doesn't feel like the best click. Ray Davis to me still feels like a very cozy click. I'm really just making a bet on him and Bucky Irving in this range, as you can see by my exposures. And those exposures are not going to change on this one. Ray Davis will be the first pick off the board for me. What do I want to do here? Going up to get QB2 doesn't feel right. I've got Bucky priced at 159 still, and I think he would finish this room. Is Bucky coming back to this pick? Probably not. I'm going Bucky, and I'm done at RB. 1562 build here. Going to get our QB late. We've got some options, and we're just going to push QB around a little bit more. We got a 1562. We got Jaden Daniels, Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson Jr. We got Ray Davis and Bucky Irving. So the RB room is done to me. These have been two of my favorite clicks the entire time. Now I think we're getting a lot of signal for both of them. So I might get to 25% on both guys. Puka Nacua, unless their price tag starts to come up. Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Jahan Dotson, and a tight end, Evan Ingram and Dalton Schultz. So done at tight end. We've got some correlations brewing. Not the primary stacks yet, and we didn't get the full part. We finally got PUKA-MHJ and got sniped on every other aspect of Rams, Arizona. Unfucking believable. It's really like the fucking monkey's paw of best ball drafting on display here, where, oh, I want Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison so bad, and it requires Puka Nacua injuring his knee enough that it's a concern for people, and it requires then me getting sniped to the gills on every player who's even thought about playing for the Rams or Arizona. We got our combo, but it's not the game stack. Talking about Russ last year. I mean, you got to remember who was playing tight end for him last year, too. We were talking Adam Troutman, not exactly the biggest threat, and Dulcich barely played. Yeah, that's as Ann said here. And okay, don't jinx it on me, but hopefully we will land QB2 and possibly QB3, but we will see what we get back. Guys, if you're watching live here, especially on a day where our pal Pete Overzet's going with his big stream, of course, the circus in town, all the finest lions and tigers going on display there, but we're doing the best we can. Please subscribe down below, hit the like button. Of course, I do drafts now every day at 11 a.m., usually in BBM here, Monday to Friday. I'm also doing some drafters, double headers a lot, so check it out, but hit the like button and subscribe. And of course, you're going to get my takes here no matter what. I think no matter what site you are playing on, the takes will be equally valid. If you want to support the show, hit that join button down below for $4.99. You get my team. Fucking, this guy took fucking Baker too. He took, oh my God. The one hole took unstacked Kyler Murray, which hurts me. The one hole took unstacked Baker Mayfield, which doesn't help me either. He's now, you added on K. Dotton. Great fucking job. Oh, man. I fucking hate that. Like, I know people, a lot of you guys are going to see it. You're going to go like, oh, like you take the late guy, whatever. When your entire build is just the late guy with no week 17 correlation, you're not really stacking. You're just like, you're stacking like eating fucking wheat thins or whatever. Like you're eating like the leanest possible version of stacking here, where a Kyler and Michael Wilson stack for week 17 as your secondary stack with a bring back from the Rams. Like, yeah, that's a game stack that maybe can hit in a way that gives you leverage, helps you jump the field of everybody who's playing the combo like I have. Puka and Marvin Harrison today. Fucking first time I have it. I'm flexing it like I've got it all the time. But if you take these like shitty backdoor stacks for both your QBs, you're just making weak bets and you're just making your team a parlay bet. This guy doesn't have a badge, so he doesn't know. But like some of you guys might see that and go like, oh, well, he's stacked up now. And it's like, no, he's not really. Baker Mayfield hitting, he's not going to hit because K. Dotton's like doing okay. Like it's not the reason Baker Mayfield hits. The reason Kyler hits isn't because Michael Wilson's doing okay. It's because Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. went absolutely nuts, and Kyler ran on top of it. Like, you got to have internal logic for your teams. And I pointed out more when it like cripples my team. This guy made 2 dumb shit moves that he thinks are probably brilliant. And it's like, you're doing the shittiest version of stacking. That's not like really stacking. Stacking is about cutting your parlay of things you have to get right. Drives me nuts. But again, I'm more passionate about it because he's fucking me. fucking me. Downside of rooms with bad drafters, you can't push the QB. Sometimes you can, but like to get bad luck with one person doing it stupidly twice is just like a little bit rough, but it's fine. Oh, also both are week 11. God, I didn't even realize that. Good job. Fucking double whammy of stupidity. But yeah, that's like the biggest thing. Like stacking isn't just, you know, I don't know. It's like saying I love you and not meaning it. Like those kind of stacks are just like, they're just fucking nothing. They're not the thing that stacking is supposed to be. Are you fucking kidding me? Will Levis goes for a guy who needed a third QB. You took late DeAndre Hopkins, but what a fucking cocksucker is what we're going to say on this one. All right, now we are in, I wouldn't say panic mode, but we are in let's fucking figure this out mode. We got Bryce Young here, and I think this is it. It's Justin Fields day for me. Obviously, I have a lot of confidence in Jaden. We're going to try to backdoor Carolina here. Justin Fields, we have unstacked right now. Wish I'd taken Freiermuth, but he's mobile enough. We'll make a bet on Fields here at 181. Unfucking believable. This guy, unfortunately, had the most valid case in terms of his correlation to snipe me, but you just don't need that third QB with Purdy and Goff. Levis is a luxury when you've got everything else set, sure, but that fucking, god damn it. The highest of highs and the lowest of lows in this fucking draft today. Anyway, team so far, we're going to make it work. We got 2 more picks. I know what I'm going to do with them. We got Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young, and Justin Fields, our QB room. So QB room is going to give me enough points. It's just a very fucking stupid way to do this. Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson Jr., Ray Davis, and Bucky Irving at RB. Wide receiver, PUKA-MHJ, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Jahan Dotson, and Evan Ingram and Dalton Schultz are our tight ends. So we've got opposite correlation for Tampa Bay. We got opposite correlation for Justin Fields. So fundamentally, we are still making a week 17 bet, but I would like to get some actual targets with them. God fucking damn it. It's still whatever. That one annoys me the least. The other 2 are more tedious, but doesn't fucking help me. And it's like he took it because he knew I needed Levis, and he didn't want Levis to get back to like just a fucking dick. It's a non-bad drafter too. Like I'm not giving him fucking grace. His ribs are gonna be more painful moving forward. Yeah, I mean, look, I got the discounted Jaden, so it's fine. Do I use a ring light? I do, but it doesn't affect my color. What affects my color is this thing where I could saturate myself more here. Here, I'll just for the sake of argument here. So like I'm really saturated. This is closer to my true color, I guess. And then this is like slightly lighter. But I have to change it every day, basically, because when I went on vacation, for some reason, my camera tool, I use a Logitech capture software thing. It now changes every day back to like something that's like borderline grayscale. So I have to click a different number every day. And that's why some days I look really bronze. Some days I look more white colored. There you go. That's your behind the actor's studio of somebody who's getting sniped on every pick in a best ball draft. I do have Jalen Warren. Again, I don't know the Justin Fields Jalen Warren combo is like the greatest stack, but if I don't take Calvin Austin or Van Jefferson, I guess it would be the best I could do. Roman Wilson as well should be available late. He's falling in rooms because he's hurt. Imagine he's top of the queue right here. No, he's come down enough. Roman Wilson, 189 ADP. I've got him at 202. Made a lot of movements, by the way, in my rankings this week. If you are one of the people paying for him, moved around like the 190 to 250 range a lot. Like I spent like a good 3 hours doing that stuff on Sunday. So yesterday. So check it out if you are a member here, paying member. Check out my rankings. Of course, you can see them on YouTube. They're also on the Splash Play VIP Discord on Pete's Deposit Kingdom Discord as well. We got 2 picks left. Let's give this team one more read so I can try to recenter myself. Got Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young, Justin Fields here. So got sniped on 3 different QBs, which is never the most fun, but we will survive. Got Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson Jr., Ray Davis, Bucky Irving. Wide receiver, we have Puka-Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Jahan Dotson. The tight end, Evan Ingram and Dalton Schultz. Tight end, the one spot here besides getting the PUKA-MHJ combo that did not throw me for a fucking loop 10 times over. But I think I know who we can stack with late. We're going to do some weird shit with that late combo. And frankly, because we're going to try to build out more correlation, the team should benefit for it. Like the fact that I'm adding on more stacks that I wasn't planning on doing before. Like I didn't plan on building up Pittsburgh, KC fully. Now I have micro parts of Jacksonville, Tennessee, micro parts of Rams, Arizona, and I'll have full, I guess, or quote unquote full stacks for Carolina, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, KC, and Washington, Atlanta. Yeah, might not take a Pittsburgh receiver here because I think that's the way to get to 3 game stacks. Well, I'll talk about the game theory of it once we make our last 2 picks because I got to see what I actually click here. Ben Sinnott back in draftable range, according to this guy at least. Yeehaw. Unbadged drafters. Bane of my existence. All right, I think this is a day we want Oppo correlation for Jaden Daniels. I think we're going to get it with Ray McLeod. We're going to take a share of Ray. I've gotten so much of Rondale Moore. I would like to get some Ray McLeod in the last round as a guy who's flashed before. Teams have liked him. He's now theoretically the starting slot for Atlanta. And I think we're going to go Jonathan Mingo with the other part of it. Mingo holding Leggett at bay. Leggett could still break out and get there, but Leggett being hurt again. I think Leggett's going to start slow. Mingo's had a great camp, and we have correlation on the week 16 side and the week 17 side for Jonathan Mingo. So we suffered along the way, but we have week 17 correlation for Jaden Daniels, week 16 and week 17 correlation for Bryce Young, and week 17 correlation for Justin Fields. So our 3 QBs are all stacked up and have layers of correlation there. Don't shoot me, Pittsburgh, Washington. Wait, Pitt, Washington? Who are we talking about? Not sure. Oh, Darnell? Okay, I don't think so. We got Pacheco, Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson Jr., Ray Davis, and Bucky Irving. So our main correlation with Justin Fields is in fact going to be Jalen Warren here, which is a little thin. We did the best we could. I didn't want to take Roman Wilson. We got Puka-Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Jahan Dotson, and probably 0% owned Ray McLeod, 0% owned Jonathan Mingo, and then Evan Ingram and Dalton Schultz. So that was a really stressful journey. This draft was, again, the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. We got the PUKA-MHJ combo finally, but that was harrowing. I think we solved for it. Like, I think that Bryce Young connected this better than I initially realized by giving me week 16 and week 17. That was fucking stressful. That was stressful. I did not think I'd be clicking Mingo much this year, and I still won't, but 18th round play, we got Bryce backdoor. We can live with it. So we fucking survived one. That's it. Not a second one coming up. I'll be back to this was the experience in DraftKings with Daniel also in the room. Yeah, that was basically DraftKings today. I'll be back tomorrow with another one though. Another draft going tomorrow at 11 a.m. And of course, this is why I do it all to one more finals berth. Please, for the love of God, please subscribe down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. Your engagements go a long way for me, a sole proprietor here, showing you my gambling here, giving away theoretical EV by obsessing over news, obsessing over data, giving you the game theory for every play. And a lot of them have paid off so far, at least relative to how the markets are moving. So hopefully more will pay off here this last month of draft season, but your support goes a long way for real here. Subscribe, like, and if you have the money, join down below. $5. You'll get all of my data. You'll also get my rankings, team reviews for me, 10 of them a month. They've been coming hot. They've been coming hot and heavy. I've had to review a lot of fucking teams, guys. But I'm doing them. I do them all. So please do that. Underdog, promo code SPLASH. If you haven't deposited on there, please use our promo code. Helps support the show, and especially heading into next year, helps show them here because, frankly, we have not converted as well as I would like for Underdog this year. So if you have a deposit Underdog, please do. And if you have deposit Underdog, deposit on Drafters, another great site to play on. And I will tell you now, I got to think, saw some numbers on Twitter, really think the Drafters tournament's going to overlay. So Drafters Million, $15 entry fee, $500K to first place. I can't guarantee you that it overlays, but if it does, your EV is going to be really good on there because they give you a lot of free entries, including if you put in 10, you get a free one. You put in 100 entries, they give you 7 free. And plus the deal they're going to have moving forward where it's like you draft for 10 consecutive days to give you free entries. You're going to do a lot more shit like that. So really, if you are somebody trying to make your bankroll go the furthest, I finished top 110 last year with only 9 entries on Drafters. So go, please, EV, take it, drafters.com, and promo code SPLASH, get a $100 deposit match. Thank you all the fine folks who supported the channel. You too can support the channel. Hit the join button down below. $4.99. And also Probably, my baby. Go check that out. Probably.com. If you want to get better sports betting data in your life. 4 in 1 day on Friday in the best bets. All plus money as well. The betting data is clean. I don't know what else I could say. If you want to bet, please do. If you don't want to bet, fuck me. And best ball overlay as well. Promo code SPLASH on there. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splash Play Pod. Gamble responsibly. Watch your ass in these draft rooms right now. That was fucking nightmare sniping. But I'll be back tomorrow with more, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging with me. We got PUKA and MHJ. Let's look at the bright side. We did it. See you tomorrow. Enjoy your days. Go check out Pete. Good luck. Bye-bye.